أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. In this blessed month of Ramadan, we are going to tell you about the holy Seydatouna Maryam. Seydatouna Maryam is a noble and very special woman. Her particularity lies in the fact that her soul was kept at the very spot where the souls of the 313 prophets who were sent to earth remained. When she was born and was only few months old, a strange phenomenon occurred. One day, while lying down, bundled up in her blankets, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent her a spark of light which actually represented a part of the prophecy on Nubuwwah. This light penetrated her heart and then came to nestle in her soul. Seydatouna Maryam grew up and reached an age when she began to develop her ability to distinguish. At that moment, every night, until the early morning, she saw herself in a dream as a woman wearing a yellow veil. She was surrounded by angels who practiced zikr in her ears until she woke up. One day, a light appeared to her around Asr prayer and let her know that she possesses in the depths of her soul half of the Nubuwwah generally entrusted to the prophets. The light told her that the condition for keeping this Nubuwwah is to no longer attend impure places. Seydatouna Maryam then made the decision to deal only with the maintenance of the places where one indulges in the adoration of God. She was anxious to make these places of worship enjoyable that she swept and adorned beautiful things. She spread the tablecloths and prayer rugs to welcome the believers and put them away at the end of the service. One day, to her surprise, this same light appeared to her again and let her know that in reality she was not a prophet as she had thought from her youth, but that she would give birth to a prophet. The most astonishing thing about the information she had just received is that by the time she will become pregnant and the time of birth, which will last an hour, half of the Nubuwwah carried in her soul will be associated with the other half of Nubuwwah before getting introduced inside the soul of this prophet who will be called Isa alayhi salam. She had always thought she was the one who would be the prophet. This light also teaches her that the angels with whom she saw herself in dreams while being younger were none other than the friends and companions of her son. She was made to understand that her function was to keep this half of Nubuwwah until the birth of her child. Thus, the moment Isa ibn Maryam came into the world, it was inserted into him half of the Nubuwwah that was kept by his mother, Seydatouna Maryam, and also the other reserved half. Once the two parts were assembled, the Prophet Isa alayhi salam got up and immediately started talking and answering questions from people around him while he was just a newborn. This is explained by the fact that when transferring the Nubuwwah to the soul of a prophet, one can always observe a reaction whether in the ghaib or invisible world or in the Shahada world. If the prophet is in the invisible world at the time of the transfer of Nubuwwah, the soul transforms itself and begins to melt until it becomes a ball of light. It thus passes from a soul state to a state of light. If the prophet in question is in the Shahada world, at the moment of the transference, he returns to a mystical state manifested in our case by the faculty of being able to speak. It is necessary to know that Seydatouna Maryam formulated to the world Ghaib or invisible the wish to be part of the circle of the prophets. However, she was informed that this wish could not be granted, but that her child will be the one to accomplish this function. As a result, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked her to formulate a prayer related to the word of the prophets, a prayer that Allah will grant her. Sayyidatuna Maryam then asked the Almighty to stay for eternity when she would leave this lowly world in the midst of the prophets who were not sent and who practiced the zikr of the 100th name of Allah in the fourth heaven. Sayyidatuna Maryam also asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be able to educate the souls of all the women who will have to marry a saint or a prophet, which was additionally granted to her. That is why in the fourth heaven, one can see Sayyidatuna Maryam present as the only woman in the restricted assembly of the prophets who were not sent, going back and forth. Her presence in this setting is linked to her particular mission that she herself wanted. That is to say, to choose the soul of every woman who will have to accompany a saint or a prophet. She moves between the first and the fourth sky while wearing her yellow veil. She also wears another silk-like veil in which she used to use to cover her feet when she sits down. Sayyidatuna Maryam may also present herself in a different appearance from that with the yellow veil. Indeed, when she is in zikr sessions with the non-sent prophets, she covers her head with a blue veil that reveals her face. When seen in this aspect, it is because she is or is moving towards this assembly of zikr reserved for the non-sent prophets. In addition to choosing the souls of a woman who will have to marry a saint or a prophet, Sayyidatuna Maryam supervised them. When marriage is near for a woman destined to a man of God, Sayyidatuna Maryam summons her soul. This is why some women say they saw or glimpsed Sayyidatuna Maryam in a dream. This vision reflects an instruction or an order that Seydatouna Maryam gives them, but that these women will only understand once married. We have reached the end of this presentation. This text is drawn from the teachings of our honorable guide, Khutbul Aktabul Kabir, Maulaya Sayyid Muhammad al-Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.